Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Jason. I've been doing organic now for about 10 months roughly. And I'm going to tell you guys today how to get your first sale with organic dropshipping. This is no guru shit. If I restarted tomorrow, this is exactly what I'd do to a T to get my first sale. So I hope you guys enjoy. So what is organic dropshipping? Selling products online with no inventory, no paid ads, instead creating organic ads by yourself for the product you choose. Pretty self-explanatory. You basically are just creating your own ads instead of paying for ads. So you have to get good at a skill instead of spending money. So just a few things. You're basically creating content to get viewers on your pages, get followers on your pages, and basically you're going to funnel them to your website link and sell your product on there. If you can master the skill of organic ads along with a few other things, it is the highest leverage thing possible. Millions of views, traffic straight to your page and website without spending a cent on ads. You're able to get a lot of store sessions that you'd normally pay for with ads, just completely free since you create good videos. But that's the key. You have to create good videos. It's not just any videos. It's not like TikTok Shop where you just put the product in front of the screen. The reason I say it's so high leverage is because you're able to get millions of views for absolutely free, just depending on your skill level, how many, viral videos you're getting. It just depends. You're not spending money on ads because ads do cost a lot of money, not only to learn that you're going to have to run through, but just in general, it takes a while to learn the skill. So it's better to just, at least get into drop shipping, maybe starting out with organic. So I'm going to tell you guys today basically how to do it. All right, on to the next slide. What will you need in order to execute correctly? So you have to have a brain. You just have to, be competent and be able to pick up information and actually relay it and see results. Because you can watch all the YouTube videos you want on organic dropshipping, but if you don't actually use the information, it doesn't matter. So, apply and be competent. And yeah. So for your storefront, you're going to want to use Shopify. There's nothing else you can really use. Don't try to get cute with it. Just use Shopify. And then for suppliers, I would suggest Zendrop, de-essers, maybe CJ Dropshipping when you're first starting out, just getting your first few sales, because you're going to eventually move to a private supplier, but that's way down the line when you're getting hundreds of orders, and these sites just aren't going to cut it. But for now, these sites will fully work out for you if you know how to use them, and I'm going to explain. But de-essers is connected to AliExpress. It's basically just an automatic supplier that connects straight to your store. Same with Zendrop. And what I mean by supplier is these are the places that are going to have your products on them. If you're completely new, these are where you're going to be finding your products, is on de-essers and Zendrop and connecting it to Shopify. Printful, that's just for print-on-demand products. I personally used Printful once and it worked out for me. I haven't tried Printify, that's another one, but that personally worked out for me. But print-on-demand products are like t-shirts, any original design that you're thinking of putting on a t-shirt, putting on this, putting on a bag. That's print-on-demand. So for apps, you're going to want to have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, CapCut, Shopify, AliExpress, etc. Those are the social media platforms you're going to be posting on. It's also the editing app you're going to be using, and just your Shopify dashboard. Anything you need to change is in Shopify, so you always want to have it on your phone. So for equipment, this is huge. Do not overlook this. It's basically, you're going to just want something to hold your phone. It's going to be a tripod or some type of mount. And then you're going to want to buy ring lights or soft boxes, and then maybe a chest mount, for certain different angles. Some videos you're going to film are probably going to need other angles other than like a tripod can do. So maybe a chest mount, maybe some plants, maybe some accessories for your product. And I'll get into this more later. Look, some products are going to need some accessories in the background to make it fit the vibe, or maybe you're going to have to go to the beach to run your summer product, right? But if you're at your house, you're going to want to have like a nice background, and you can buy some accessories for your niche product. So if you're running a car product, maybe order some toy cars or like some car posters in the background. I don't know. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. But that's basically all you need for that. Just some lighting, just some camera mounts, and yeah, maybe some accessories. Okay, finding your first product. Every dropshipper has it. Make a burner account. An account strictly for finding products. Make a TikTok account, make an Instagram account dedicated strictly to this. So real quick, what is a burner account? Yeah, like I just said, it's just an account fully just for finding products. So all you're doing on that account is looking for products and interacting with products and searching for products, basically. But there's a strategic way to do it, and I'm gonna show you how. Tips for the burner: make an account, scroll immediately until you find videos of dropshipping products, preferably like high viral, high quality videos, and interact with them heavily and ignore everything else. So you don't want to corrupt your account by watching the occasional basketball video or the occasional football edit. Like, trust me, just focus on products when you're on this account. Don't use it as an excuse to scroll, and you'll find products on there. And yeah, just it's gonna take a while. Maybe you have to search a few things like TikTok. Maybe buy it. You could search that just to tap on a couple products, get your account warmed a little, because the first few videos you interact with are gonna implement what's gonna happen. But the more you interact with dropshipping videos, the more are gonna pop up, and it's gonna fully just fill your feed after like a couple hours. You're gonna want to dedicate some time to that per day, just every day scrolling the burner for a little bit. It's always good to just, it's good to see what people are doing. It's good to see what products are out there. So, new products pop up every day. So keep scrolling the burner. So like I said, soon your burner will be just products, and you'll give yourself no longer than just a couple of days to find your first product or two. You don't want to give yourself too much time, and you don't want to just pick the first product you see, because you kind of want to just look around what there is, but you don't want to be too picky, because it's your first product. It's probably not going to go viral. If it does, you probably don't know the entire process yet. So it really is just proof of concept, trying to get the skills down and trying to get the process down for your first product. But if you're not on your first product, I'm still going to give a lot of valuable information, so stick around. First, you want to choose your marketing angle, unless there's only one, because certain products only have one marketing angle. Certain products have a lot of marketing angles. I'll go into examples below. A marketing angle is the approach you're framing your account, your videos, everything around on how to sell the product. Example, for a gym shaker cup, your niche of people you're selling to, trying to convey your offer through them, is gym goers, since they would find that product, more interesting than marketing it towards single mothers or something like that. Some products have multiple, like a camera can be marketed multiple different ways, while other products sometimes don't. An example of that would be, there's an organic product right now that it helps you put your sheets on your bed. It's literally just a plastic tool that helps you put the sheet under your bed so you don't have to lift up your bed. That only has one marketing angle. It's toward people that struggle with that issue. And so you couldn't really market that anywhere else or in any different way, if that makes sense. Very important to understand your niche of people who you're selling to. The more you know them, the easier it is to sell them, since you can hit more specific pain points, understand the lingo of the niche, etc. So do your research and make sure the audience is large enough to sell to in the first place. And I'm going to give you an example why. My first product was a bag sealer product with no real niche. You could purchase them anywhere, and I clearly didn't do my research, as I did not know who I would sell this product to or who would even buy this product. And I thought I could just post and people who saw it would think it's cool, but that's not how it works at all. This product really doesn't have a super obvious niche, and it's kind of just a gadget, so that's why it was hard to get traction and sell. Basically, you first of all want to find a product on your burner that has a proof of concept. This product I found on AliExpress, just scrolling through random products on the internet. It was a bad decision. So for your first couple of products, you're not going to know what a good product is, most likely, and you're going to want to find, even for your first 5 or 10, you're really going to not know what a good product is until you get that proof of concept. Choose a product that has already been going viral on the burner, has already gotten multiple thousands of followers on their account, stuff like that. So that's what you want to look out for, and good interaction on those videos. I'm going to go into stuff like that later, but that's an example for you guys. So sourcing your product. I'm going to show you guys after this exactly like just the site, just a quick rundown, because you guys can look up on Safari how to do this stuff, but I'm going to give you some tips as well. So look for your product on AliExpress and connect your product directly to de-essers if you're using that. And if you're using Zendrop, everything is in one app, so it's a little more convenient. But in my experience, not many good products have been found on Zendrop, or at least the ones that I've decided to run haven't been found on Zendrop. So I personally use de-essers a lot. I haven't really had any huge issues with it at all. But you can look up videos, like they show in depth way more than I can show you guys on how to connect these things, like 2-minute videos on YouTube, on Safari. So just look it up if you're struggling. So finding a supplier on AliExpress can be dangerous if you're not careful. Look for ratings and stars. Also check shipping prices. This is basically what to look for. You want to have a high star rating. It doesn't have to be like crazy high, just around like 3.5 or higher, preferably like 4 or higher stars. and you want to look for a high amount of purchased, or it says like a number and then it says sold. You want to look for a high number of sold and a good amount of ratings. Just pretty general stuff, but you know, there's a lot of scammer suppliers on AliExpress, and they're pretty easy to find, so you don't really have to, be too careful, but you definitely have to do your homework on these products, because at the end of the day, your marketing and your content is going all around this product. And so the most important part is just getting it to the customer once they eventually decide to buy, and you don't want to fuck that up. So you want to make sure your supplier is trustworthy, they have good ratings, good stars, pretty general shit, and just check that there's not any crazy shipping prices, and that they can even ship the product to you. What you're going to want to do is choose a product you can build your content around. Know your skill level as well. You don't want to pick a product that's too difficult, especially for your first one. So right now, I'm not sure if you've seen it. If you do organic, you've probably seen it, but it's a bag and it's really hard to run. This is an example of like a product you shouldn't run for your first one. It's basically a bag that has 100 cuts of putting different things in the bag, stacking different clothes, vacuum sealing the bag. It's a lot of stuff. If it has a lot of parts to the video, it's probably going to be a little harder to run. So just watch out for that. After finding your product, connect it to Shopify. There's buttons on these supplier apps that connect it for you, and they literally walk you through it. So you're going to want to use Amazon to order your product pretty soon, like within 1 to 2 days if you can, to just record creatives on, because at the end of the day, organic is a speed game, and you have to be getting these products to your house fast. You can't be ordering the product on AliExpress because it costs $20 cheaper, but it takes 2 weeks to get to your house. It's not worth it. Just spend the extra money on Amazon. Fucking get Amazon Prime, get it there in a day or two, and start filming for it immediately. Ideally, once you understand the process of creating accounts, finding products, etc., you should be running at least 2 products every 2 weeks. That's just a general rule of thumb. All right, creating product accounts and warming them. So you're going to want to use aged Gmails if possible, or you just have to create some. It's perfectly fine. To make these product accounts. Name, I'm going to show you guys after this as well. You're going to want to make a name. You can use ChatGPT. You're going to want to make a logo. Canva or Sora can do that. And then you're going to want to make a bio for your product, just a couple selling points, and you can always add the link under that, and I'm going to show you how. Or most likely, if it's your first product, you're just going to want to add the link later. So here's one of my TikTok accounts. I'm going to show you what I mean by some selling points. I'm going to highlight right here. This is what I mean by just a couple of selling points, and then you can put the link later, or if you've already made the website, you can put the link. And then we also have the logo over here that we made, and then the account names that link up. Except for my account, they just don't link up because I'm in the process of rebranding, but you get the point. All right, so I'm back. You're going to want to make accounts on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for warming. And also, do not skip out on any of these platforms. You're going to want to be posting on all of them. The more content you can repost on these platforms. You don't have to make original videos for every platform. So the more you can get your content out there, the better. More views on your product, the better. For warming, give yourself 2 days, 48 hours. Take 1 to 2 hours a day dedicated to scrolling in your product's niche, interacting with the niche and commenting, acting like a human being. Don't be a robot. Don't give yourself longer than 2 or 3 days, because that's really all it takes to warm a great account if you do it correctly. And the way you do it correctly is just putting the time in those first couple of days. So you're going to want to do an hour. It doesn't have to be at one point. You can do it spread out throughout the day. An hour or 2 a day, just scrolling the account. And I'm going to give you an example right here. It's really that simple. Just the first 48 hours are crucial. Make the account and dedicate hours of your day to really warming it up. This is a crucial step. Don't overlook warming up accounts. And don't use them as an excuse just to scroll and brain rot either. Example, in the Christian niche, you're going to want to scroll in your niche until your whole feed is a niche of Christian videos, creators, etc. If you have to look up, related keywords in the search bar, that's perfectly fine. Look up like Christian edit or this or that, just to warm up your account. That's perfectly fine. The reason for scrolling in your niche is because then your audience of videos you're posting to will be in that niche that you warmed it up for. And the last very crucial step is just to verify your email right after creating the account. It's very simple. You just click the 3 bars, click on your account information, and just verify the email real quick. It just pops up as like a red check mark or a red, to do. And right after you make the account, just make sure to do that, because that's the number one, in my opinion, I've found it that if I hadn't done that, the account is cooked. Your accounts are warmed. Now creatives. Creatives are a term to describe an advertisement. Basically, you're going to want to use CapCut or TikTok to edit these creatives, and a creative is just the videos you're recording of your product and editing and eventually posting as your content or as your ads. There's a lot of things that go into creatives. There's music, there's the actual video of your product with many cuts and edits. There's also the texts that are very important, and the storyline and the backgrounds and the lighting. And so a lot of these skills have to be refined over time, and you just have to, get used to looking at a creative, understanding what a creative is. It's hard to explain, but you'll understand soon. So there's many different frameworks of creative ads. So for example, contrast ads. What is an example of a contrast ad? Have you ever seen a prototype versus final video? If you have, that's a contrast ad. Basically, the contrast is pretty obvious. It's the before and the after. The worse the before is and the better the after is, that's how you create the best contrast ad, because you want to have some stupid thrown together prototype in the beginning and then have a really good looking final product with good lighting, all this. And so that's an example of a contrast ad. That's one framework. There's many frameworks that are used in organic, and you'll start to kind of pick up on them, and I'll give some examples later. Creatives in simple form are built based off of a hook, a why, and a CTA. There is a text hook, a visual hook, and an audio hook, all a part of the hook that pulls attention into the viewer. After that, the creative should explain the product or why you would buy the product. And then the call to action is a way of funneling viewers to your website or page. It's kind of telling them to do something. It's a call to action. It's letting them know that they should act on what they just saw, almost. There's many different ways of doing creatives, like I've said. Be creative, but most importantly, copy other creatives' videos that are viral and high quality when starting, especially. It could be a different niche, a different product, but copy theirs ideas regardless, and build an understanding of what type of creative ideas are out there. Burner scrolling helps this tremendously. If your product is being ran successfully by another person as well, copy their creatives one for one. For the first 2 to 3 days especially, and then if it doesn't work, begin to form your own ideas and pull from different niches, etc., like I've explained. It's big to just watch a bunch of creatives and indulge in organic, because if you're really going to make it work, if you're really going to get sales, you have to really understand what it is. And so the way you get better at understanding it is just watching creatives, scrolling on your burner, and also just making creatives and understanding what you can do, what you can make. And your ideas will open up once you start to watch different types of creatives and start making them. With that being said, there's a lot I could say about creative making, but most importantly, lighting is huge. Using sounds in your niche, for example, Christian music in the Christian niche or a Christian product. Focus on high quality videos, and honestly, just put in the reps, because it really just takes time to make a good creative. That's persuading, and also be aware of your competition's videos and just learn from them. Take inspiration from them. Take inspiration from all of the creatives that you're seeing on your burners and that you're making. And then you're going to want to post consistently 2 to 3 times a day. This is really important. Always post on TikTok first, and then repost your videos to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc., using a site like TikSnap to remove the metadata, or just straight up post. Works if you have good accounts. What do I mean by this? So you're going to want to post 2 to 3 times a day for a product on each account. And so how do you do that? You don't want to be, how do people that run so many products post so many videos? Well, how they do it is they just repost the same 3 videos on every single account. You're posting your 2 to 3 videos first on your TikTok account, and then you can use a site like TikSnap, which basically changes the AI data of your video, and then you can repost that on Instagram. Or you can just repost, if it's the first time you post a video on TikTok, you can just straight up repost it to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, all that. You're going to want to just edit on TikTok, edit on CapCut, and repost, because that's just the way that everyone does it. It's the best way to do it. You don't want to be posting original videos for each account and each niche and each product, So I also personally don't think there's many good videos on creative making out there that explain it. So, You just need to put in the repetition and be dedicated to make it work, and realize you will improve when you're creating 6 to 12 video ads a day or more. And this is the best way to put it. There's probably not a lot of good video. I've never really watched a good video on how to make creatives. I kind of just learned by putting the reps in and watching other people make creatives, watching other successful creators make their videos, and just taking inspiration and copying from them. There's no real way I could show you guys how to make creatives. You kind of just have to put the reps in. That's kind of just a part of the game. Even if you had all the information, you wouldn't be able to make a perfect creative off the bat. Posting strategy. Like I've said, TikTok is king. Post there, repost everywhere else. Editing in app on TikTok has also recently helped my views a ton. So that's maybe something to take note of. Like I've explained a little before, frameworks are the way the ad is made to pull attention and successfully get a result, which is engagement and views. Examples, like I've said, contrast videos, a stitch clip, running to target, or don't walk, run to target. An example of posing yourself as a consumer, don't walk, run to Target, look what I found at Target, and then you show your product. That's an example of a framework, or a way to pull attention. A stitch clip is any clip you're pulling off the internet to help your ad. And those are just a couple of frameworks, but you'll start to understand that when you see more on your burners and when you create videos. So test different video frameworks, different ideas, copy proven methods, and take inspiration. That's huge. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that is huge. The number of views you get on a creative are dependent on so many factors, including account health, video creation skills, product, marketing angle. So make sure you're creating the highest level creatives, putting time to choose good products, and testing lots of different ideas and video frameworks, and focusing on creating healthy, warmed accounts. Yeah, there's so many factors that are dependent on going viral. So what I'm going to get into right now is huge. Split testing is huge. It is where you test each part of the video individually to determine which parts made it go viral. It may seem complicated, but there are many great YouTube videos on the topic. When you get a creative that spikes in views to your normal amount, remake the video, testing each part to determine why the video got more views. And the better you become at this, the more you'll be able to understand why videos go viral, because they don't go viral on accident, that's for sure. Yeah, so say you have an account that usually gets 200 views and you randomly get a video with 2,000 views. You would, split test that video that spiked, each part of the video. You switch up the background, you switch up the text hook, you switch up the music. That is how you start to understand why a video went viral or what part of the video went viral, and eventually you can reshape that video to make it go more viral. Websites and fulfillment of orders. To create a website on Shopify, I could break it down in simple terms, but there are a million videos guiding you through on all aspects of creating your site. There's no specific way to make a website, but there's some rules to follow. The 60-30-10 rule. 60% of your site should be white colored, 30% should be accent color, and 10% should be the text or copy. So, for example, if I were to run this product right here, my site would be white, my accent would be blue, and my text would be black. Okay? Pretty simple. Reviews and testimonials are huge. Add GIFs, videos, and images of your product to create the trusted feel on your site. There's also cheap reviews apps, that import fake reviews. Like, I think there's one called like reviews dot something, but it's on Shopify. You can look it up. There's many good apps for that are cheap, and they basically just give your product site way more trust. For your first few stores, create the website before posting your product, since it's important to get the proof of concept and reps of building them, so it gets more familiar and takes you about 20 minutes down the line to create a website. After you get good at creating websites, you can wait to create it after a product goes viral or gets some traction. This is because it doesn't take you too long to build, so it's a better use of your time to just wait. But that's down the line. Fulfillment is easy using the sites I've listed. Just turn on automatic fulfillment for orders, and they walk you through all of it. Basically, DS or Zendrop, CJ Dropshipping, AutoDS. I wouldn't use AutoDS, but all of those sites technically work. Make sure you're fulfilling orders at the very least a day after the orders have been bought, since shipping times may be long and speed is key for authenticity. Now go get your first sale. I know this is a video about getting your first sale, but if you're watching this through, you're probably interested in dropshipping organically specifically, and really want to make it work. So keep in mind that there's going to be so many unexpected struggles along the way, maybe even just making your first store. But also along the way of making hundreds of product stores. So really just get your mind right and understand that this game is the opposite of overnight success and quick results. You're going to have a higher reason or bigger purpose to get out of bed in the morning and start working consistently. Good luck on starting. That's just really the biggest step, is just putting yourself out there and trying to achieve something. So I'm proud of you if you watch this video through. You're going to make it if you just consistently do it. That's just the truth. You can't fail, you can only quit. That's a good, mind framework to live by. But I hope this information was helpful. I tried to make it as easy to follow as possible, include the basics, even though I'm sure there's some stuff I missed. If you guys want me to go in depth on any piece of this video or any more parts of dropshipping, please let me know down below. I will be responding to all your guys' questions, so also drop those below, and I'll respond to every single one of you. So if there's any confusion with this video, please drop it down below. If there's anything you want to see, please drop it below. If you want to follow, go ahead. I'm going to be posting organic dropshipping content, and most importantly, just my success and documenting my success. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this was helpful again, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.